This is Ryan and Michelle, and welcome to the Celebrate MarriageCast 5-Minute Friday.
Hello and happy Friday. We are so glad you're joining us today. We have a guest joining us for today's 5-Minute Friday, Tony Bohr with Sioux Empire Christian Counseling. Welcome back, Tony.
Thank you. Always happy to be here.
Yeah, and really the point of our 5-Minute Fridays is to give our audience a assignment for the weekend, something that will help them to invest in their marriage, be intentional, to grow, and to work on their relationship.
Yeah, Tony, we had a great episode on Tuesday talking about the subject of sex.
Yes, go back and listen.
Yes, it was so good. And thank you for dialoguing, having that conversation. You know, I think it's a topic that we need to talk about. You know, Tony, just in our conversations, you were like, "Oh, I have these conversations four times a day," you know? And so what a great platform to be able to have these conversations, to have real, honest conversations. So, Tony, we want to give our listeners a weekend assignment. So I'm going to turn it over to you and see what we have.
Okay. In the episode, we talked about kind of obviously sex and where we learned about sex and having that first. When did you get the talk? Your homework assignment is going to be to have the sex talk, but it's not just a one-time deal, and have this talk when you're not mad or angry or frustrated, when you're out on a date, and do that. And I got 5 questions for you.
Okay.
When you're having the talk. First one is talk with your spouse. How do you feel like your sex life is going? Right. Have you talked about that? Is it going good? Is it going bad? Have that talk. 2, what's going well? What's not going well? Have that conversation. How's your sex life going? Good. No, you got to have a little more conversation. What's going well? What's not going well? Then we're going to get into a few more specifics how often do you want to have sex? What are you guys shooting for as a couple? Do you have a goal? Have you talked about that? Do you even know what your spouse is thinking? Right? Have that. And then what are you doing to build that connection? So we're talking about sex, but it can't just be okay, sex. There's this whole other half is how are you connecting with your spouse? That's just as important as how are you doing that connection? When are you doing that connection? What does that connection look like? What does your spouse find valuable, loving, secure? What kind of things does your partner need to make sex feel well? And then take all that information and put it in a plan. Go work on it. Go put some effort into it. Go talk about it, and then have the talk again. All these questions you should do periodically. Check in. How are we doing? Where are things at? Hopefully you're checking in with your kids. It's hey, how are my kids doing? They're getting better. They're getting potty trained. They're getting good with grades. You check in with your kids. How's our finances doing? Hey, we're doing good. We're saving money. We're paying off bills. We're doing that. Okay. Do the same with your sex life. Check in, see how that's going, figure that out. Have it periodically and see where you guys are at. So that's the homework assignment.
All right. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's so good. I something just jumped in my head as you were saying this. And I think it's to also approach this with approach the talk, if you will, with the idea of you want a better connection with your spouse. Because part of this is that
that's good.
I heard this and I'm like, oh geez, I don't want this to be like a fight. So really with the intention of, man, I want a better connection with my spouse.
Yeah.
And have that as a reference when you go into this conversation of this isn't about you're bad at sex, or this is this is terrible, blah, blah, blah. Have the mindset of I want to connect with you better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great opening statement, Ryan. And they could even say something like, hey, I listened to this podcast this week and the assignment for the weekend was these questions. Can we talk about it? Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So there's no blame or shame or anything, like you said.
Yeah. And the goal always is connection, whatever that looks like. There's going to be some connection through sex. There's going to be some connection through talking. There's going to be some connection through sharing emotions. That connection is the goal. And it can be a little tricky. It can be a little difficult to have those conversations. But If you don't have them, it's going to be very tricky. It's going to be really tough. And you talk about don't want to have a fight. You can never prevent a fight from happening. You can postpone one a long time, and it can get worse, and it can get bigger, but you can't prevent it. So let's do this on the front end easier. It's like, hey, let's talk about this. There's nothing bad about this. How do we feel like it's going? We want it better, right? And use that connotation when I was talking about with the other areas of your life, when you're talking about raising your kids, when you talk about finances. How are we doing financially, right? Even if you're doing great, what are we going to say? Well, what's our next step? What are we going to do a little bit more? And so frame it from that positive perspective, I think is a really good way. It's like, oh, we're poor and we're never going to save any money. Okay, that's not a really fun way to have a meeting, right? It's like, hey, we've done pretty good here. We're making some progress here. Here's some stuff that we can do to make some more progress. That's the approach you want to do when you're talking about sex as well.
So good. And just remember, it's just a conversation.
Correct.
And as Ryan would say, you're on the same team. So just go for the goal of connection. Thank you, Tony, for this assignment. Let's see if we can list those 5 things on our show notes as well. So you can just open up the notes and read those as you have your conversation with your spouse this weekend. Thank you for joining us today. We want you to know that we have resources at celebrate.church/marriage. If you don't have a church home, we'd love to have you watch online at celebrate.church. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.